I'm going to show you today a few tricks and tips to help you get the most out of your Studio G stamps. I know I see threads from time to time with people getting frustrated because they can't make their stamps stamp correctly or stamp clearly, and I just wanted to show you some ways to make sure that you can use these little stamps to get a perfect image every single time. The first thing that I always suggest is the first time you use a stamp, sand it. Just regular sandpaper. The sandpaper I have here today is from Close to My Heart. My favorite is really out of my husband's garage. And you don't have to worry about being extra gentle or you're going to ruin your stamp. You can be pretty rough and the stamp will be fine. Wipe the dust off a little bit and you're ready to stamp. The second thing that I always tell people is be sure and use a piece of foam underneath your cardstock. This foam is from a CTMH set. You can use foam from dish packs. When you pack up your dishes, they have foam sleeves. Some people use a mouse pad. Anything to give some cushion. Next is the type of ink you use. Most of the time when I read the threads, people are trying to use dye ink. Dye inks are water-based and they tend to bead up on acrylic stamps. Not all of the dye inks do that, not all of the acrylic stamps do that, but odds are a dye ink will bead up. Sometimes this is taken care of with the sanding, but sometimes you're left with a very blurry, kind of fuzzy looking image. So what I suggest is to use pigment inks or chalk-based inks. The three I like the very best are the Studio G inks, which are only $1 as well, so they are a really good deal. Versamagic, which is a chalk ink, or Brilliance, which is a pigment ink and is metallic, so it gives some shimmer as well. All of these inks work really, really well to give you a nice crisp image. And I thought seeing was believing, so I decided to go ahead and finally make the jump and do a video. And there you have very clear, very crisp. You can see all the lines just perfectly. I'll show you the stamp with the Versamagic and Brilliance as well. Studio G inks come in quite a range of colors and they're really affordable, but these little dewdrop ink pads are also affordable so that you're not buying a whole nother new set of ink pads, trying to figure out how to store them, where you're going to put them. I like the tiny size much better because I tend to have way too many things I'm trying to fit in my scrap room anyway. Here's the Brilliance. And again, the image is perfectly crisp. The lines all around the outside are very clear. This works equally well with your little tiny detailed images. This is one of the new sets from Series 32. And I just love these. If I ever had time to do everything that I wanted, I really want to make background paper with these. They're just little element doodle kind of designs. And there's that one with the Brilliance. Stamp a couple more for you just so you can see. There's a Versamagic. And one with the Studio G ink. And there you can see all the little teeny lines and details show up very, very well when you use the pigment inks. The Studio G inks are pigment inks, which makes them just even a better deal for $1. I can also show you when you have the little teeny tiny words that Studio G is so known for. I'll often try and do them with dye ink, and really not the greatest results. Do them with one of the pigment inks. You can see it's a much crisper, clearer image. When I use the pigment inks, I never ever have a problem getting the images to be crisp and clear and readable and very detailed. The last two tips I'm going to give you are pressure. These are very soft. Some acrylic stamps are much firmer. I don't know if that's part of the cost or just part of different manufacturing processes, but these are very, very soft. So when you stamp, most of us are used to red rubber and you have to push really hard, or we just like to push really hard. So if you do that with these, this is what you end up with. And you can't really read it, and it looks really awful. So just remember to use very, very light pressure. You really just need to make contact with the paper, and that's it. So when stamping, just stamp and remove. Don't worry about pushing it down too hard, and your lettering will be perfect. Last thing I'm going to touch on is making the stamps sticky again. I tend to use a lot of embossing powder, which is the biggest culprit of unsticking my stamps. But in general, dust, dirt, or anything else, either on your stamp block, your acrylic block, or on your stamp, is going to make them no longer stick very well. So just clean the back of the stamp on your scrub pad, clean your acrylic block on your scrub pad, and you should be fine to have them stick again. I hope you guys got some useful tips from this video. Studio G has just released all of their new stuff for the holiday season, and it's, once again, too cute for me to pass up. They're coming out with more ink pads. They also do dollar glitter glues, which are fantastic. They all match the glitter glues and the ink pads. And they have something new for Halloween, die-cut Halloween cards, so they're ready to go. You just stamp and decorate, and you're done. So I hope everybody enjoyed that, and if you guys are interested, I will be doing more videos with just little tips and tricks I've learned along the way to help you get the most out of your supplies. Have a great day!